my friends. Woo! I come to you today a little bit tired because, well, I've been nervous to record, and so I have, we'll say, partaken to the point of indulgence. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to do some painting. As you can see, we have a much smaller canvas than last week right next to me. And this thing, I'm excited to fill it up. I've been working, kind of oscillating between very small and very big. The big stuff is, big, and the small stuff is small. There are hard things about big stuff. There are hard things about small stuff. But they're just slightly different methods of working. So I'm excited this week to move into something a little bit more precise, maybe? Anyways. Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys today. These pants, I like them, but they're too short and they are too tight. Without further ado, I think I'm just going to paint, and then we'll talk about it as we go. If you want to know what I'm listening to today, it's just super deep layered brown noise. That's it. And so we have begun. What you'll see in front of me here is, what we've just worked on for the past, I don't really know how long. As you can see, there's no form that has appeared yet, but it seems to me to be something of an interesting base. I don't have anything that I'm immediately picking out of the canvas right now that I really can see to, make something out of. And so because of that, we're going to sit and let this marinate a little bit while we talk. If I see something later, I might jump back into it. But for now, let's spend a little bit of time together here. How are you? I can't hear anything. Well, so anyways, my time since the last time that I published a video on here has been a weird one. I almost feel like I haven't existed at all, really. This is the first piece that I have painted since that last piece, which is just unusual for the rhythm that I had built up, which was I was doing several pieces a week for a couple weeks at least, and that was, that felt good and everything like that. But this week I just really I just really wanted to spend some time with my family. And I mean, with Thanksgiving and everything having happened, that is what felt like the most important thing. Today I learned while I was painting that light can overwhelm a piece just as much as dark does. I had an instinct to add some light pink on there, and I really like light pink, so I kept going and kept going. And I got to a point, unfortunately, where I think I've added too much. Now, this is not a big deal because the whole process is layering and just doing whatever I like. And so now the next thing that I do will be a response to how I feel about having overdone the light pink. Because genuinely I liked the light pink in the moment, which created the decision to overwhelm the piece with light pink. So, not really a mistake, but an observation to have to be able to make. One thing I've been thinking about this week a lot is the difference between the editor and the play, which is like, I don't know if I've talked about this before at this point. I don't know. I feel like I've talked for a lot of hours, but how this applies to me right now is like I've been looking at, I've been looking at some of my pieces from my recent sort of sprint, and I'm a little bit further away from them now, and maybe not quite as happy with them as I had been prior, before I had learned the lessons that I had learned. And now I'm having to go through and edit those pieces and see if I can bring them up to what I think is a acceptable quality, or just completely scrap them and restart them again, use them as, canvas for my next piece, which both are, very valid options. But the trick is that cannot come into play while you're actually painting. But you also have to, I guess the way that I try to incorporate it right now is when I'm painting, I try as hard as I can not to be judgmental of what I'm doing and just be curious and just trying something interesting and just following whatever avenue presents itself. And then creating whatever piece comes from the result of that play and experimentation. But then afterwards, I have to look at it and I have to decide, does this meet my overall standards for what I would like to produce as an artist? And you guys see all of the paintings that I do, not just the ones that I decide to keep, because I think that it's important. But that editor still must exist in the end. Like I'm still going to probably have a show. I still have to decide what I do and don't want to allow to be purchased, so that I can maintain a certain level of quality in the collection of my work that's out there. But at the same time, I can't let that come in while I'm painting. Like right now, specifically in this piece, the way that came through is like I was going with the purple, and then I put some yellow down. And that reminds me of the Minnesota Vikings, because I'm originally from Minnesota. And there's nothing wrong with the Minnesota Vikings, but something about it just like, tacky, like maybe it triggered like this tacky reflex. At the same time, it's not my job right now to decide what is tacky and what is not tacky. That is my job in a month or two after I've done painting this piece and deciding whether I like it or not. But at the same time, while I'm painting it, I can look at it and have thoughts about it, because I will look at it while I'm sitting there on that couch, and I will think to myself, this is tacky, this needs to be adjusted, this needs to whatever, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I have to try not to assign value judgment, which is difficult. I think you can tell I'm somewhat talking in a circle here, and that's because I haven't solved this entirely. We're what's the word? We're talking as we think. Anyways, outside of that, I've been watching, I did a super exciting project. I have this 1967 Sylvania stereo console that I have been wanting to restore for some time. And it has, everything works on it. It just has a muddy sound. And in order to fix that, I have to replace the capacitors, which is not exactly trivial, but most of all, it is not cheap either. So my solution in the meantime has been this. I removed the speaker out of one of the sides of the cabinet, and I put a Google Home Max in the cabinet itself, pointing out that speaker hole. And something about it sounds incredible. It sounds like perfect coming out of there. So I literally didn't do anything technical. I didn't do anything cool. All I did was, I don't want to say cool, but I didn't do anything technical here. All I did was open up the back of the thing, clean it out, and then put a Google Home Max in there, and remove the speaker and put a Google Home Max in there, and close the thing back up. So I am by no means claiming an audio restoration here or anything like that, but it is a very short, like, I don't know, 30-minute process if you include drilling the hole in the counter and stuff to run the power cord through. That yielded very interesting results. I will post a picture of the cabinet here. It's very cool. I am a big fan of this kind of stuff. I do intend on fixing that up someday. It's just when I have a little bit more time, bandwidth, and money. But that is something that I am incredibly stoked about, and I wanted to share with you, of course. I've been doing this dance with my son lately, where we'll be playing Christmas music in my house and stuff, and I'll be dancing like this to him, doing the finger guns, and I don't think he can move his wrists very well yet, and so he goes like this. It's just very funny. I can't even really do it very well, but yeah, it's a very cute thing that's been going on in my house this week. Something that I want to talk about a little bit about in terms of art, the direction I'm interested in pursuing, is in my last piece. I think it's the first time that I really successfully integrated the background with the figure like I have been meaning to for a while. And I'm really stoked about that, but I need more practice in that. And interestingly, I thought there was a whole lot more to that line of thought, but there really wasn't. Trying to think about it like excavation and like erosion, but I swear there was more to that train of thought than I thought, but I thought wrong. Sencha. But yeah, dude. This week really has been just about allowing myself to rest without feeling guilty about it, and without allowing myself to lose momentum either. I'm sitting here trying to think through things that I'd like to talk to you guys about, but then literally it's just staring off into the distance with me breathing and RuneScape music playing in my head. Nothing more. So I think that means that I'm not getting anything more today. We're gonna have to come up with an album of the week. And lucky for you, I already have. The album of the week this week is Vintage Audio Restoration. If you're looking for a hobby and you're very interested in electronics and audio and working with vintage items, restoring them to working order, check out Vintage Audio Equipment Repair. It's not something that I'm capable of, although I do watch a lot of videos about it on the internet because it intrigues me deeply. Something about, well, all of the factors that I have previously listed, but also the technology used in things like that, tube amplifiers and such. Fascinating to me. Check out Vintage Audio Console Repair. Anyways, I think that's all for this week. I am actually really stoked about where we are on this painting. It's actually quite interesting. I think if we turn it upside down here, yeah, still nothing presents itself. It's been an incredible time hanging out with you guys today. If you're still watching, I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you enjoy the material that I am making enough to spend your time on it. And I'm forever grateful to you guys for participating in this. But enough of the sappy shit. I appreciate you coming by. I will see you in 9 days. Goodbye. Woo!